So you're thinking about moving to Ajax? Well, in this video, we're going to cover the costs associated with living here so you get an idea of what it costs to eat, sleep, play, live, work, everything right here in Ajax. And we're getting into it right after this. Hey, what's going on? My name is Brad with Right at Home Realty, and I'm a local realtor here in the Durham region. If it is your first time to this channel or you've not watched any of my videos before, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell. That way you're notified each time I release a new video. In this video, I'm going to be covering off the costs associated with living in Ajax. So if you're looking to move here and you want to know what it costs to eat, sleep, play, live, work, everything right here in Ajax, then this is the video for you. I get people reaching out from all over the world that are relocating here, and I absolutely love it. So if you are looking at relocating here, you can call, text, email, send the carrier pigeons, so whatever is easiest for you. And I'm here to make your move and relocation so much easier. And we're getting into it right now. Our first section has to do with house prices. So if you are moving here and you plan on purchasing your home, then this section will help explain how Ajax sits compared to other parts of the GTA, how it compares to Canada, how it compares to the province of Ontario. So Ajax, as an average house price, so they factored in all types of homes, whether it's a two-story, a bungalow, a detached, semi-detached, a townhome. And so Ajax number sits at about $745,000. If you're going to compare it to Canada, it is $214,000 above the Canadian average. It is $83,000 above the Ontario average, and it is $185,000 below the GTA average. And then if you're going to compare it to the rest of the Durham region, it is about $59,000 above the Durham region average. So as always, I like to show where I'm getting my numbers from. So let's jump onto the computer and then I can show you where I pulled this information from. So here you'll see that this is the CREA website. So this is public information anybody can log into if you wanted to see updated numbers depending on where you're watching this video. So Canada, it's based on May 2020. The average house price was $494,476. It is 2.6% down from 2019. And if you're going to compare it Ontario, you look at Ontario, the average was $625,691. And then that is actually 1.6% up from May of 2019. And then if we want to get specific into the GTA, then we look at, we'll pull market stats, and then I will go on to the dashboard stats. So this here is not public information. This is something I have access to because I'm a part of the Toronto Real Estate Board. So for June of 2020, based on the whole geography of whatever TREB covers, which is most likely around the Greater Toronto Area, Golden Horseshoe. And so for TREB as a whole, the average transaction price was $930,869,000. And then if you're going to get a little bit more specific and you want to go into the Durham region, just update that. The Durham region sat at $685,655. And then you want to get even more specific and you want to see how Ajax did. The average house price in Ajax was $745,000. So this is based on all the transactions that happened in June of this year. And if you look here, you can get specific. So the average detached home was $796,000, a semi-detached $666,000, condo townhouses $491,000, condo apartment average house price was $591,000. And then if you were looking to move here and purchase a townhome, average price here was $641,000. And then if you were looking at a detached condo, which would be more along the lines of like a condo townhouse type complex where there's maintenance fees, and the average price there was $590,000. I hope you enjoyed that little screen share that I did. So let's move on to our next section. So our second section has to do with the rental prices. So if you're moving here and you wanted to kind of rent before you purchased to get an idea of the area, to see if you're even gonna like it here, then this is the section for you. It is, they've averaged it out based on a 2-bedroom condo. So, you know, if you're looking at renting a 2-bedroom condo, regardless of which city it's in, it will give you an idea of, you know, the price points and what's more of expensive areas. So I think that's why they've averaged it out for the 2-bedroom condo. So in Ajax, the average rent for a 2-bedroom condo is $1,830 per month. And if you're going to compare that to the GTA average, which it is $981 below the GTA average, and it is $190 above the Durham average. Now, if you're looking for, you know, if you're going to rent like a 3 or 4 bedroom, newer type home, you could be looking between $2,300 and $2,800. If it's a larger home, then it can be north of $3,000 per month. So it really depends on what you're looking for. But I hope that gave you an idea, if you are going to come here and rent, what you can expect to be paying. If you're looking at stuff like a 1-bedroom or a bachelor, that's where it's closer to the 1,000 to 1,200, like in and around that number. So that covers off the rental prices. Let's jump on to our next section. So our third section has to do with the cost of a meal. So if you're coming here and you want to get an idea of restaurant costs, there's a lot of options here in Ajax. And the good thing with Ajax is that's where you start seeing, like when you're in places like Whitby and Oshawa, the food diversity isn't as diverse as what it is in Ajax. So Ajax, they have a ton of options, whether you're looking at big chains like Boston Pizza or St. Louis Bar and Grill, The Keg, but then they also have small one-of-a-kind type restaurants that they don't have anywhere else. So the average cost for just a dinner for 2, which consists of like a 3-course meal and perhaps like a drink and a beverage, sits at about $70 or so. And there, like I said, there's so many different options. Some of my favorites is Drupidy's. So that's it's a place that they started in Trinidad and Tobago, and then they've come here and they have locations in and around the GTA. But the one in Ajax is located on Bailey, just west of Harwood. And this is a place that we've been going for the last couple of years. That's kind of when we discovered it, and we really enjoy it. And I've taken my father there, and that was the first time I think he had a shrimp curry roti. So it was kind of an experience for him. We definitely enjoy it, whether you're just going for, you want to buy rotis, or if you're looking for a chicken curry. It's something that, you know, it's a good place to go. And another second type of unique restaurant is called Myrtle's Kitchen. So this is more of like a Jamaican type restaurant that my wife, well, she was my girlfriend at the time, she was going to UOIT and she was living at a friend's house in Ajax. And I remember going to visit her, and she would always have these little containers with, it was jerk chicken and rice and peas. And that's where she would always get it from. So whenever we were feeling like the Jamaican type food, that's where we would go. And the food was always good. And it was kind of like that small shop that you wouldn't have known about really, because they don't spend a ton on advertising. It's just kind of like word of mouth, and then you discover it and you keep going back to it. That covers off restaurants. So let's jump on to our next section. So our fourth section has to do with property taxes. So Ajax is higher than other parts of the GTA, but it's not the highest. So they sit at about 1.069%, which is kind of good considering Ajax only has a population of 120,000 people. There are a lot of green space type areas set up. So a lot of this land, which other places is very populated with tons of houses everywhere, they get a revenue from. Ajax doesn't have that. So that's why places like the Durham region do sit a little bit higher. It's because they have a lot more open fields than other cities in and around the GTA. And we'll just jump onto the screen and you can kind of see what these property taxes cover. So you can see the big question, what do property taxes pay for? So they pay for things like the Durham region, the police service, the transit system, regional roads and bridges, like all of this stuff, the 911 phone service. And then if you're going to look at as a percentage, the Durham Region Police Service, they're making, the about 30% of the tax revenue that coming in, it goes towards covering that. And then almost 13% is for roads and bridges. And then the Durham Transit System, they're getting about almost 9%. And so the list goes on, and you can check this out. It's just on the Durham Region website. And then they make it easy for you. So if you have questions specifically about a specific city, you just click on here. It takes you right to their website, gives you a phone number you can reach and get a hold of. So I hope that helped with the property tax questions. And let's jump on to our next section. So our fifth section has to do with insurance. So for reference point, we're going to be doing automobile insurance, and automobile insurance in Ajax sits at about $1,570 per month. So they just average this out based on average policies amounts. It's not the cheapest, but it's actually pretty good, because I know when I was born and raised in Brampton, I had my first vehicle there, and even with a clean driving record, by the time I was about 30-ish or so, that's when we moved to the Durham region, and my car insurance dropped huge. It went from like $2,700 per year to about $2,000 per year, but then me and my wife also added a truck to the policy. So the savings was incredible. So that's kind of like a positive about it. So let's just jump onto a screen and I'll show you the Kinetics insurance map, which is something that I love going through for demonstration purposes such as this, because they've averaged out every city in and around, well, pretty much in Canada, but we'll only focus on the GTA. So you can see on the screen here, so this is just the map of Canada, a little bit of the States, and you zoom in, and then that's when you see all these other areas is fairly inexpensive because there's not a huge population. You can see how concentrated the GTA is, and places like Brampton, Vaughan is the most expensive type insurance areas, and then there are the average type sections, which is outside of Oshawa, and then you go to Mississauga and kind of like Milton areas. It's just gives you an idea there. So we'll focus in closer to Ajax. So just the default colors that they've used based on kind of the amounts here. Ajax, the average here, it says up in the corner, estimated premium, and then you go places like Pickering, it's a little bit higher. You go to Whitby, it's a little bit higher. Oshawa is in and around the same price, and then certain parts of Oshawa, I don't exactly know why, is a little bit cheaper. And then you go places like parts of Scarborough, you see it starts to climb at about almost $2,300 per year, and then you're in this orange area, it's in and around 1,800 or so, and then you get to Vaughan's at 2,400, and Brampton 2,400. So yeah, that's the insurance map. It's kinetics.ca, and I think it's a /insura map if you want to go check it out yourself. So I hope you enjoyed the insurance section. Let's jump on to our next point. Our sixth section has to do with transportation costs. So for our first point, it's going to cover gas. So as of July of 2020, the average cost of gas per liter is about $1.02. If you are going to compare it to earlier this year, it was at about $1.20, $1.30. So it has been relatively low, but it is climbing up. I'm assuming it's going to go back to that $1.20, $1.30 by the end of summer, but I'm not in the gas industry, so I can't confirm that for sure. Durham Transit, so if you were going to be reliant on the bus, the cost for a ticket is $3.25, and they do have monthly passes and that you can get as well, which would save depending on how much you're going to use it. The Durham Transit system is pretty good. It's not the best, but it is it can get you where you need to go. If you are reliant on a bus, it covers all the main roads, and it can get you pretty much anywhere like you need to go. The Go Station, so if you are looking at commuting to Union Station, and I've used that as a reference point because people who are going to be commuting to Toronto, that's probably as far as they're going to go. It's about $8.52 per trip, up to 35 trips per month. And then between 36th and your 40th trip, it's $1.16. And then after 40 trips per month, it's actually free. So I think they've done this instead of the monthly type fare, they've done it this way. I'm not entirely sure why, but it must make sense to their benefit. The average cost per week, if you are going to be taking it 5 days a week to Union Station for work would be about $85.20 per week. And then if you're going to compare that to as a monthly type, it's $302.84 per month if you were going to be doing it per month. And 407, so this is another option for people who are commuting but don't want to battle with the 401 traffic. The for a cost point, I've used Brock in Pickering as the start point, and then the 404, which is the DVP that would take you right downtown Toronto, as your finish point. So that would be about $540 per month if you were going to be taking it 5 days a week, 4 weeks of the month. So it's definitely pricey, but it saves you a little bit on the 401, but it might not make complete sense because you're still going to deal with the DVP traffic, and that's just not something that, I don't know, it's any better than the 401. So you might as well bite the bullet and just take the 401. If with the 407, if you are not using it regularly and you just use it every once in a while, they and you don't have a transponder, they add $4.20 per trip, which is like a camera surcharge. So you can rent a transponder. It's $3.95 per month, and you can also, instead of doing it monthly, you can actually pay it annually, which they save you a little bit of money, and that would be $24.50 per month. That covers off transportation. Let's jump on to our next section. So our seventh section is more of a bonus section that I include for people who are coming from outside of the GTA, because most of these costs involved here are going to be relatively the same depending on where you're living in and around Toronto. So our first point is daycare. So if you're coming here and daycare is something that you want to have because, well, sorry, not want, but you need to have because you have children and you work, then the average prices, and so I got this from my wife who posted on a mom's group on Facebook what people are paying in and around here, because neither of my two children do go to daycare because I'm in real estate, and then my wife, she stays home full time to take care of them. So the average cost for daycare, it ranges between $20 and $61 per day. So if you're going to average that out on a weekly basis, it's between $100 and $300 per week. It could be higher than that. You could be spending as much as $400 and $500 per week. A lot of people, they gave the suggestion of, if you're going to be doing the daycare route, then you might want to consider the Montessori, because Montessori isn't that much more expensive, and the feedback has always been quite a bit better, I would say. But like I said, neither of my kids have done the daycare route, so I'm not entirely sure to be able to comment on that. If you're going to be looking at the utilities, so the cost to run your house, electricity, which is being done by a lexicon, we average, and I've just used my numbers in terms of what it costs me and my family to live in our house. So for a lexicon, which is the electricity, it averages out about $100 per month. They charge you a $30 setup fee. It's just a one-time type fee. And then if you are new to a lexicon, they actually charge you a $260 deposit, which is, it's just held for the first year, and then once you've had good payment history, it's given as a credit. So it's not costing you anything, but they do hold on to it for that 1 year. If so gas, which is done by Enbridge here, our average was about $99.70 per month. So that covers stuff like the furnace, any hot water tanks, fireplaces, that kind of thing, if you have a gas stove. So like our average, $99.70 per month. And then there's a $25 setup fee that you would have to pay as well. They don't have any deposits that you have to pay, but it's just that one $25 setup fee. Our third utility would be the Durham water. So the water coming into your house, and then the sewage leaving your house. So our average was about $60 per month or so. It's billed quarterly, so if you water your grass a lot during the summer, is going to be higher, but it's done quarterly. So our average, when we broke it down, divided by 12, was $60 per month. There is a $30 setup fee, and then there is a $250 deposit, which you get back at the end of the 1 year if you have a good payment history. And then in terms of stuff like Bell and Rogers, like, so if you're looking at internet, we'll use that as a reference point. Bell Rogers, their website price is about $114 per month. They always have different promotions going on, so if you call, you might get a lower price, but that's just what's publicly put on their website. There's other options out there as well. So if you're looking for an internet that's not quite as expensive, a company here is called Tech Savvy. They have a $37 a month internet plan, but you might have to buy a modem, and there might be other fees associated with that. But again, the company name is Tech Savvy. And then our last point, instead of going into a line by line grocery bill, we'll just use milk as a reference. So the cost of a 4-liter bag of milk is $4.49. That's what we're kind of paying here. And then, fun fact, I just kind of heard Ontario is one of a few places that actually has milk in bags. So here you get one bag that has 3 individual bags in it. And you can still get the milk cartons and jugs, but for the most part, most people buy the bagged milk, where I've heard other parts of Canada, US, even the world, it's all done in jugs and cartons and glass jars, and that's just kind of unique to that. I hope you enjoyed that bonus section. Well, that concludes our video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. It lets me know people are enjoying the content that I'm putting out there. If you didn't at the beginning, or you forgot, subscribe to the channel and click that little bell. That way you're notified each time I do post a new video. As I said at the beginning, I have a ton of people reaching out from all over the world, and I absolutely love it. So if you are looking to relocate here, it doesn't matter where from. You can call, text, email, send the carrier pigeons. You can use WhatsApp. I get WhatsApp messages, Facebook Messenger, kind of whatever is easiest for you. And I'm more than happy to help make the transition so much easier. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time.